now watching I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.
Double intro there. Sometimes StreamYard likes to lag with turning the intro off. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome to I Shot Him 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel, as well as welcome to episode 13 of the I Shot Him 6 Times horror movie podcast. I am your host and creator of the channel, Marcus, as you are all well aware. I am grateful to have you all here today. Definitely got a few topics to talk about, some Scream 7, false rumors discussion, as well as talking about the rise of Disney in the horror genre. I'm sure that will be an interesting topic to talk about as well as give me a second here, guys. You know, my voice has been a little bit raspy over the last couple of weeks. Well, couple of days, because I was going hard all weekend doing streaming and stuff like that. So, yeah. But anyway, back to, the topics we have here and all that stuff. But again, some Scream 7 news, some the rise of Disney we're going to talk about here today, because it's a reason is worth discussing, and whether you like it or not, it's happening, and all it takes is for one of these movies to be successful, and they could keep doing more. So, it's going to be an interesting conversation for sure. So if you guys haven't done so already, definitely hit that like button. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm a ton. If you are a new viewer coming across this channel, definitely shoot the like button, shoot that subscribe button. Would definitely love to have you here in the community and become a subscriber and possibly a member of our Shot 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel. If you are not a member, if you would like to become a member, shoot over to the channel dashboard, shoot that join button, and choose what level membership works best for you. Yeah, guys. So again, this is going to definitely be an interesting conversation, as well as our third topic we're going to talk about here is the Actors Guild strike. I think that as well is going to be a very interesting conversation to have. It was reported last night that they have reached mediation to get some type of extension to get a deal done. So we'll see. I think all three of these topics that I've named off here in the beginning is definitely worth talking about. We don't really have too much horror movie news. Nothing really much on Saw X coming out. They've been really nip-tuck about that. Scream 7, we're going to talk about it here in a second. There was some rumors that has been coming out over the last couple of weeks, but announcement was supposed to be made for Scream 7 yesterday, and that, as we all know, unless somebody knows something I don't know, that did not happen. So again, guys, this is definitely going to be an interesting conversation here on today's episode of the podcast. So let me get to some of you guys' comments. I see I'm well behind. I want to acknowledge you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys all showing up. Hey, what's going on, Jen? Jen Werner in the chat saying this is going to be really interesting. Yes, it really is. All three of these topics. Of course, with Scream 7, that's a lot been on everybody's mind. When are we going to get an announcement? And, I think that we'll get into it. We'll get into it for sure. But yes, especially, I think the topic for me that is going to be really interesting to talk about here with you guys is the Disney discussion, because I know how a lot of people feel about Disney dipping their toes into the horror genre. So I think that that's going to be the most interesting topic of today's episode of the podcast. I'm excited to talk about it. Trish Taylor in the chat. What's going on? Saying, hi, Marcus. My name is Trish Taylor. I'm Scott Walker's fiance. Hey, what's going on? I hope you're having a great day. Tell Scott I said hello. Now, I will say this, because No, I think and just in all fairness, people who have gotten to know me here on YouTube over the last year or so and stuff like so. I'm going to talk about it here now because I want to say it bothers me, but okay. So, unfortunately, Scott, if I'm not mistaken, is still on the block list. Um, there was an incident, I believe, one night where he was saying a lot of the same things in the chat, and that had became a reoccurring thing here. When I do my live streams and stuff. And listen, I like to let everybody have their opinions, let them speak, or so on and so forth. But it had gotten to a point where this asking the same questions, stuff like that, it did become a little bit too much, especially for my moderators, modulators, etc., so on and so forth. And I assume, because I didn't really get to go back over that chat that night that this happened, that when basically said something about it to him, there's, I guess, were some words, so on and so forth, or whatever, and that ended up with Scott being on the block list. Now, listen, basically, where I'm trying to get out here is I'm pondering unblocking Scott, because if there is one thing I will say about Scott is he was a loyal person here in the chat. Like, he showed up. And I will say this. So, Trish, if you're still here, tell Scott that I'm pondering, unblocking him. But if I do unblock him, he can't spam the chat with the same questions and stuff like that, and that stuff can't happen. And that goes for everybody, anybody who comes here in the chat, whether you're new, whether you're a returning viewer, so on and so forth. I don't want disrespectfulness in my chat. I don't want the same questions being asked. I don't want nobody arguing, so on and so forth. I want to keep a clean chat, a clean audience, so we can all, share our opinions and have a great time like we do on these streams for the most part. So, again, I am pondering unblocking Scott, but Trish, if you're watching, just tell him, if I do unblock him, don't ask the same questions. Don't spam the chat that way and stuff. The only time the chat should be spamming is if I say to spam something, and that's just how I'm operate. That's just how I work. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not trying to be rude and put it on blast, but I do want to talk about that because that, like I said, that goes for everybody who comes here into my chat, who comes here to the channel. I want to keep a smooth chat. I don't want to have to keep answering the same questions over and over again. I don't want people arguing in chat, so on and so forth. So, I am pondering, letting Scott back in because I do like Scott, and I don't want to have to not have somebody over on the channel for something that isn't really, I don't want to say it's not a big deal, but it's something that it's like, okay, this can be worked out. You get what I'm saying? This type of thing can be worked out. So I'm going to move on from here or whatever. But, yeah, Trish, thank you for, stopping in and, tell Scott I said hello. And, yeah, you know what I mean? We'll work it out. We will work it out. Don't worry. Do not worry. So, guys, I'm literally going to probably go through all you guys' chats here before we get the conversation started because I appreciate you all stopping in here. We have 11 people watching right now. You guys are all awesome. I greatly appreciate it because it is Wednesday, in the middle of the day. And I know some of you guys are at work. So I greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to stop in, even if for a few seconds, for a few minutes, just to say what's up, say hey, show some love to the channel and to the podcast. Dom, what's going on, buddy? I hope you're having a great day. That was definitely a fun live watch party the other night, watching Demonic with Destin. What's up, Polar? I hope you're having a great day. It's good to see you here in the chat. I got to get you here on the channel as well, Polar. We got to get together for a stream. That's right. That's right, Val. Thank you. Thank you so much. I needed it. It was, y'all saw it. It was getting a little rough. Like, it wasn't up to snuff for me. And plus, it's just entirely too hot to have all that hair on my face and growing on my head. It's just, no, it's too much. Yo, what's up, Adrian? I hope you're having a great day. Yes, thank you so much, Val. And okay, so real quick, before we get into the conversation here, you know what I mean? I'm going to check out the rest of you guys' chat. But I do want to say this. I do want to bring this up. So, as you guys know, I was monetized about, I want to say, going on 2 months ago. Yeah, at the beginning of May, I became monetized here on YouTube, became a partner on YouTube. And of course, with that, you have to file a lot of stuff, you know, fill out a lot of little paperwork, online stuff through YouTube and all that stuff. And one of those things that comes with that is they send you a pin. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I know some of you here, like Val, has created a YouTube channel and has started pushing out content themselves. So I wanted to, you know, share this piece of information with you guys. So when you become monetized, mostly everything that they have you fill out gets settled on YouTube, through online, through Google, through your email, all that. One aspect that doesn't, though, that comes through actual physical mail, is this bad boy right here. This piece of mail. It says Google AdSense on the back, all that stuff. You need this so that if you become monetized on YouTube and you start making money with your channel, in order to access your funds, they send you a physical piece of mail, basically with a PIN number to verify your home address. They don't do the home address verification online. They send a physical piece of mail for that. That's like the final step you need in order to access your earnings here on YouTube. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I just got this in the mail today. And another reason why I wanted to point this out to you guys is because they say it takes 3 to 4 weeks, right, for this to come in the mail. However, this got sent out. This was supposed to get sent out on May the 8th. It is July 12th. It has been 2 months, far past the 3 to 4 weeks that they initially claimed that is going to take for this piece of mail to get here. So what I'm saying to you guys is this, is if you do get monetized, if you're a content creator who is not monetized yet, but you do get monetized, they're going to send you this piece of mail to verify your address with a PIN number so that you can go on Google AdSense, add that PIN in so you can start accessing your own money and stuff. But it may take longer than what they tell you in the transcript. It's going to probably take, and they do tell you that. Actually, they do tell you that. They say it takes 3 to 4 weeks, but it may take longer depending on where your location is. What I will say is this. After 2 months, because I want to say I literally filed for a new PIN on July the 1st because I was just like, okay, maybe it got lost in the mail. It's been almost 7-8 weeks and it still ain't got here. So let me request another PIN, which you can do that. And this is another thing that's cool about that is even if you request a new PIN, if your old PIN comes in the mail, you can still use that old PIN to set up everything else and verify your home address so that you can start getting your money out of escrow. So I just wanted to point that out. I got this bad boy in the mail today. I'm super excited. You know, you guys made it happen. Like I always tell you guys, I am so humble and greatly appreciative of you all. And I just wanted to share that piece of information, especially with new content creators, such like Val. So you guys know I got your back. Looking out for the cookout. Let's go down here to more of you guys' chat, see what you guys are talking. Hey, what's going on, Kyle? Oh, this thing just jumped on me. All right, there we go. What's up? I hope you're having a great day, man. Good to see you. Jason Dyer's in the chat. What's going on? What's up, buddy? Glad to see you here as well. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I see some things, about that going on, like what I talked about with that whole, Scott thing in the chat. Like I said, I'll work it out. I'll work it out. You know, I'm a firm believer in giving people second chances. I have fortunately been blessed to have a second chance in my own life at righting wrongs. So I'm a firm believer in that. And I like to try to give everybody a second chance. So that might be happening. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Exactly. And I understand that. I do understand that, Trish. I think also what it is too, though, and we're getting 20 minutes here into the chat, to the stream. So I do want to start getting a move on things about the conversation. But I get it, and I just talked about second chances, and I understand that. So, like I said, I'm pondering it, and I get it. He's excited, for Stream 7 over possibility of Stu's return. Everybody else is. I will say this though, is like I said about asking the same questions and stuff like that. I think the thing also that what really got Scott blocked is that when asked about, when he was told to stop doing that, I guess he kind of got confrontational. Some rude words were said, all that stuff. So my thing is if I do give him a second chance, not only can the repetitive questions not happen, but if he can't be rude to people, I'm not going to tolerate people being rude to each other here in the chat. So if I do let him back, he has to clean up that stuff. Cleans up that stuff, good. We're smooth. We're gravy. I want everybody to be here. I really do. I don't like having to block people. I don't like my moderators having to feel like they have to block people. But if that's what they feel like they have to do, then that's what I want them to do. That's why I made them my modulators. My moderators for the standard YouTube, viewer. But I call them my modulators. So, I mean, that's just where it's at. But like I said, give me a little bit and let me think about it. All right, so we're gonna move on. Okay. No, I understand, Jamie. I see everything you're saying in the chat. I get it. I totally understand. This is why I said I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about it. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I do believe in second chances, but I'm thinking about it. And you are one of my moderators. And if that's how you feel, then I'm definitely going to take that into consideration. I'm taking everything into consideration. So I definitely get where you're coming from, Jamie. I definitely do. Don't think I don't. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, Jason. Like, y'all know I got mad love for Steven, man. That's my boy right there. We always have a great time. I have a great time with everybody. I feel like I collab with. Like, you know, I just feel like we all love this genre. We all love horror, and we love, just conversating about it, having a community of people that love and care about each other enough to talk about this, but not only talk about that outside of the horror, bonding about life, whether we meet up at conventions and we hang out and get to know each other, or we're in group chats on Instagram, talking about whatever. Like, that's what it's all about. So, yeah, I love it. Definitely gotta have love for the Godfather of Woodsboro. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Huh. Denisha, what are you talking about? He's another milestone here. Is there something that I missed? I don't think I've gotten any milestone notifications on the YouTube. I mean, I'll have to check the studio afterwards, I guess. All right, guys. So let's get into it. I will say this, Jason. I love me some Phantasm. So that might be a stream that is coming soon, for sure. Dead serious. Like, I love me some Phantasm. The original Phantasm does not get enough credit. The tall man, he's that dude, man. He's so creepy. I love it. All right, so let's get into the conversation though here, guys. Let's start off with Scream 7. Let's get it knocked out the way. So, we know for a fact that over the last week and some change, there has been some small rumors floating out there that, a script has been done. Nev has been approached. They're in negotiations. Melissa and Courtney are supposedly signed on. Radio Silence won't do the seventh film if they can't have all of their characters back, including Jenna Ortega, as Tara Carpenter. So there's been some rumors floating around. But the biggest rumor that came out, in my opinion, was that there was supposed to be, around the time of yesterday's Scream 6 physical media release, there was supposed to be an announcement made regarding Scream 7. Now, I've said it in videos, talked about it on streams. It's only rumors. We won't know anything until anything is made official. But the point of the matter is that if there was going to be a time that you were going to release any Scream 7 news, if you're going to make an announcement on the film, yesterday's physical media release of 6, in my opinion, really would have been the best time to do that. Now, of course, we can get it anytime, but I feel like, especially if we were going to get it anytime soon, that yesterday would have been the perfect time, because Scream 6 dropped. You could have the entire day focused on Scream. You drop Scream 6 on physical media, and then, now we have a Scream 7 announcement. They would have ruled the day yesterday in terms of press, in terms of YouTube content creators talking about it. And we didn't get it. So what does that mean? Does that mean that we're not any closer to this film being announced or being made? Possibly. I think that's a real chance. I feel like this. We have had, since March, since Scream 6 actually released in theaters. So you count that up, that's 4 months ago. How long did it take for them to announce Scream 6? Didn't take that long. And then when Scream 6 goes on physical media, 4 months after its theatrical release, nothing yet? Crickets? Nothing. Trust me, I have scoured the social media realms. I have been in the Twitterverse neck deep. I can't find nothing. No Scream 7 announcement. Nothing. Nada. I don't know what's going on. And I get it. This is to be expected. These were rumors to begin with. But while I'm not going to lie to you guys, did I think the rumors were true? That an announcement was going to be made yesterday? Absolutely. Because it's perfect timing. But we didn't get it. Why? Why didn't we get it? I'll tell you why we didn't get it. They're still talking pesos with Nev. The Denver Expo just happened, almost 2 weeks ago now? She said that little comment, I can't talk about Scream 7. I don't think I can talk about that. Now, you could say that's speculation too, or just speculating. But those words sound like they're in talks. And then we had that rumor come out that they are in talks. So I will say this. That is one rumor I do think is legit. I think they are in talks. And I think that's why we haven't gotten an announcement yet on Scream 7 being made. Because they're trying to nail Nev for the 7th film. I don't think they're going to announce anything until they have it signed, sealed, delivered that Nev Campbell is returning to Scream 7, reprising her role as Sidney Prescott. Now, another rumor that I want to talk about as well is that Melissa Barrera and Courtney Cox are signed on. Now, I will say this. I have a better chance believing Melissa is signed on than Courtney. And the only reason why I say that is because after that rumor came out, I've seen some other rumors that Courtney's not going to be in the movie. I didn't hear that about Melissa. I heard that about Courtney. So, again, these are all just rumors. You know, they've been rumors from the get-go. But I do think a couple of them have some merit. But I think that's why we have not gotten an official announcement. I think Nev is the main reason why we haven't got one yet. They're not done negotiating. So who knows when we'll get an announcement, right? We can get one here in an hour. We can get one here in 5 minutes. We can get one here in a tenth of a second. But I do think we need to start thinking, like, is this going to be a lot longer than what we might assume for us to get an announcement on Scream 7? Another rumor that I want to talk about as well, that I'm starting to believe may be a little bit false. And the reason why I say that is because of the timing of everything, especially with Jenna Ortega's schedule. Scream 7 will begin filming early 2024. Well, that depends how early 2024 you're going to start filming. If you're looking to film in January, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't think you'll have Jenna Ortega back in time for that. We got to see when she's doing Wednesday, when she's starting to film Wednesday. I don't know if there's any news on that. If there is a date she's going to start filming for that, I'll be totally honest with you. I have not watched Wednesday. I've only seen some TikTok tweets. She looked like she did a great job. I never have really been a big fan of the Addams Family. So I don't know if I'm ever going to buckle down and watch Wednesday. That's just me. You know, so, but I heard Jenna did a great job. We know she really blew up with that. So we don't know when she's going to start filming that. She signed on for Iron Man. She's almost done with Beetlejuice. I suspect that she'll be done with Beetlejuice filming anyway before the end of the year. But she has all this other stuff. And then Radio Silence and Melissa. Radio Silence got the Universal Monsters movie that they're doing with Melissa. They got Escape from New York coming out like early 2024. That's what the rumor said. I'm starting to believe that's a little bit of hot air. I really am. I don't think early 2024 they're going to have enough time to get everybody back. I really don't. I really don't want to see. I don't want to see what happened with the Scream TV series happen with the Scream movies. I don't want us to get two movies surrounded around these characters, around this main person and Samantha Carpenter. And then in the third one, we go a completely different direction and introduce new characters and we're somewhere else. I don't want that. You know, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in terms of when are we going to get an official announcement for Scream 7? When are some of these rumors going to become a fact? You know, I'm interested, guys. I'm starting to think we're not going to get something for a little bit. And me personally, I think Nev is going to try to draw out the negotiation process as much as she can. I personally think she's going to try to milk them as best as she can. That's me. Even if they come at her with a good offer, like a good offer to where she's like, okay, that's reasonable. They actually came right to the table this time. I want a little bit more because I'm Sidney fucking Prescott. Yeah, so I think that Nev is the main reason why we haven't gotten an announcement. I think they're in negotiations. I think she's going to draw this bad boy out as best as she can to try to get the maximum amount of dollar that she can out of them for her to return. You can say maybe a slight little bit of payback by doing it that way, because they shortchanged her in 6. Maybe there's some revenge there if she's employing that negotiation tactic. But nonetheless, I definitely do think that's the reason why we haven't gotten any news. We haven't gotten any announcement for Scream 7. They can't announce anything. And then also, we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth here in a little bit. But that actor strike, the writers are already on strike. Now, the actors could be on strike. And that is opening a whole nother can of worms that we're definitely going to touch on here in a little bit. But I'm going to get to some of you guys' chats. I do see I have a super chat here. What's going on, Ghostface Fanatic? Thank you so much for your super chat, buddy. I greatly appreciate you. Saying, how's it going? I want Mark Kincaid to return. I agree. I think he will return. I do. I can't imagine this 7th film and the 3rd film in Radio Silence's Scream universe, in their version of Scream. I can't imagine that Mark Kincaid is not going to be in their 3rd installment, just like he was in Wes Craven's 3rd installment. It only makes sense, in my opinion. I can't see him letting Sidney keep going out there to battle Ghostface by herself. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to me. So I definitely do think that we will be seeing Mark Kincaid back in the Scream franchise, Patrick Dempsey back in the Scream franchise for Scream 7. Fingers crossed. I want to see that too. All right, buddy. So I'm going to play a clip here for you for your super chat. I greatly appreciate it, man. You know what? Let me see what we got here. I got you. Here you go, buddy. Whenever y'all are on a treadmill, y'all best be doing that and send me a video. Send me a video of y'all doing that if y'all ever go to the gym and get on a treadmill. I would. If I did that shit, I would definitely send it to y'all. I would have somebody record me like, yo, I'm going to send this bad boy out. We going viral. Thank you so much again, though, Ghostface Fanatic, for your $2 super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, this chat just jumped on me. All right, let me get back over here a little bit. Okay. Ghostface Fanatic saying, Matt says he's open for Mark Kincaid to return. That would be nice to see him in a cameo. I don't want him to die, though. I don't think you have to. I don't think he just should be a cameo. I think he could be a character without killing him. I do. I think you can make that happen. I really do. He can still be a character without dying. I don't want to just see him, pop in and check up on Sidney, and then it's like he's off the screen and we don't see him the whole rest of the movie. I actually want to see him be involved. This means as much to him as it does to having Nev return, because we got introduced to the character in Scream 3, and this is going to be Radio Silence's Scream 3. So I definitely do think you have to bring Mark Kincaid back. I think we have to see him more than just a cameo. I think there's some story there for him as well. he's a part of the legacy now. By being married to Sydney and having kids to her, he ingrained himself in the Ghostface legacy too. So he knew what he was getting himself into when he married the broad. He knew what he was going for. We got to get Mark Kincaid back for sure, though. I agree with that. Okay, Trish, yeah. That's my favorite character from Scream 6. Just this new Radio Silence's version of Scream. Sam, yeah. Sam's it for me. Yup. I think there's just so many possibilities that they can do with the direction with what they're going to go with her character. And y'all know it. I want to see them reveal her as a mastermind. I think the clues to that are there. I really do. Especially in Scream 5. Scream 6, just a little bit. They dialed back on it a little bit, which I think is a good job, especially if you are trying to hide the fact that she really is a mastermind Ghostface. I think that was a really good option to do that in that film. But there are still certain little things that make me think Sam is in on it. Hey, what's going on, Michael Joe? I hope you're having a great day, buddy. Good to see you. Michael Joe saying we don't need Scream 7. We got Scream 6 already. I mean, I'm just talking about in terms of an announcement. Like, we can get that at least, especially if there's been rumors floating around. If any of these rumors are remotely true, for all that, just drop something. Say, hey, okay, we are in negotiations with Nev Campbell. What's the point in keeping that a big secret? If you're going to have her in a movie, we know you want her back. So you can't just say, hey, everyone, we don't have an official filming or release date set for Scream 7 yet, but we will tell you we are in negotiations with Nev Campbell to return and reprise her role as Sidney Prescott. We already suspect that by Nev's own words. Nev said herself in so many words that they're in negotiations. You don't say something like that if you're not. You don't sit there and say, I can't talk. I don't think I can talk about that. That's the biggest thing. That word. I don't think I can talk about that. That tells me right there that somebody told her to keep an open mind and not say too much if asked about it. They're in negotiations. And I at least want to know if that part is true. Give us something. Give us something. It's been 4 months. And they did that to themselves, Michael Joe, because right after Scream 5, they announced Scream 6 was greenlit. So they did that to themselves by spoiling us like that. They shouldn't have spoiled us like that. They got us now wanting, what's going to happen? Are we going to get Scream 7 next year? I personally want to see it come out in 2025. I think that makes more sense. But you can give us something. Just give us something. Look at a little crumb. Damn. Give us the bottom of the chip bag. Shit, that's the best part. But still, the bottom of the chip bag, the dust. Like, give us something, man. Like, the salt. Like, shit. Gotta give us something. Interesting. I don't want Mark Kincaid to die. If he returns and they do that, then I know they are trying to get rid of the old characters one by one. I mean, let's really be honest, though. Listen, I'm going to say this right here, right now. And this goes for all returning old characters, including Sidney Prescott. If you don't kill these characters off at some point, the fandom of Scream, they're always going to want to see those characters back. Sidney, Gail, Dewey. It's going to keep getting repetitive. And they're never gonna allow Scream to move on and branch out from those characters, from those legacy characters, if we don't start letting some fucking bodies drop, damn it. Because I'm sorry, this is just my opinion. If Sidney Prescott, in which I assume she will always live, Nev said she will never die, as Sidney Prescott. If that is the case, the issue you run into with making more Scream movies is that even after 5 years, 10 years, whatever, Scream fans are going to want you to bring Sidney Prescott back because of who she is and because of the love that they have for the character. We're never, ever going to be able to move on into trying new things with new characters within the franchise if you continue to keep these old characters alive. That's just my opinion. So personally, do I really want to see Mark Kincaid die? No. But would I be mad if he did? No. We got to start dropping some bodies here. We do. We can't have all these legacy characters keep living. At some point, in order to evolve the franchise, you have to do things that are going to hurt us. They did it with Randy. They did it with Cotton. They did it with Dewey. Tatum. We got to get back to that. We do. We have to get back to that's what made Scream so appealing to me anyway. Is that no matter how much you love a character, they could die. You can't expect them to always live. And unfortunately in Scream 6, they didn't follow that formula. They let everybody live. So new characters, old characters, bodies got to start dropping. I'm sorry. If you really want this to be a really good Scream 7 movie, if you want it to be epic, we have to do epic things, which is meaning killing off characters that we love or revealing characters that we love as killers and then killing them off that way. That's just my belief. So I get what you're saying about they're just trying to kill the old characters off one by one. And I understand why you would not like that. But especially to branch off with our new characters, don't you think that kind of has to be done? Especially because, like I said, if we don't kill these characters off, if we just let them ride off into the sunset, guess what? 5 years, 10 years down the line, they make the next Scream movie. Oh, is Sidney Prescott going to be in it? Is Neve Campbell going to be in it? I don't want to watch it if she's not going to be in it. Even though most, just like they did with Scream 6, went out to see it, knowing Neve Campbell wasn't going to be in it, the reason why they went out to really see it is to see if there was going to be some type of cameo or in that post-credit scene. They wanted to see if we would get Neve Campbell in the cameo in a post-credit scene. There was people that was still optimistic we were going to see Sidney Prescott in Scream 6. If you don't kill these characters off at some point, you do run into the problem that we will not ever be able to fully move on from the original cast of Scream. And at some point, we have to do that. I know it sucks. I know it does. But we do. In order for this franchise to continue being a mainstay, us as the viewer has to be open-minded to not seeing these legacy characters ever be in a franchise beyond Scream 7. But that's just my opinion. Jason Dyer saying if you want Stu back, we need Sidney back. I agree. You could have Stu be in a Scream movie without Sidney, but I personally do not think the impact would be as great unless she's there to witness it. If she's there to witness it, round 2, And this would be round 2 between them. Because remember, they fought in his house. This would be round 2. And can you imagine how you can set that up to be a knockdown, drag-out war? You thought Roman and Sydney got it in. I think you could take it to another level of a fight scene with Stu and Sydney. I really do. So we'll see. We will see. Ooh, that's not good, Adrian. No good, man. Definitely get that taken care of. I mean, I don't know if you're like saying a quote from a movie, but I doubt you are. But if you really did cut your finger, yeah, definitely get that taken care of, man. I only brought up the quote from a movie thing because I know some of us do that here in the chat. I know I do. I know I do when I'm in chat sometimes. Okay, so I'm obviously behind and I'm obviously not, onto anything. I'm going to have to go back in this chat after this. But did Trish get timed out? Somebody let me know in the chat. Because I see Jason said something about it. Okay, so yeah, just somebody let me know about that, and then we'll move on here. Wait a minute, they have Ghostface in GTA? Oh no, you're talking to Ghostface Fanatic. Okay, got you. I got you. Had me thinking that Ghostface was in GTA for a second. I'm like, when the hell did they add that feature? Man, listen. Ghostface Fanatic says, I don't want Sydney to become an evil person. I've been hearing theories that she could be the Ghostface killer. I just think that will ruin her character. It's like making Laurie Michael. I mean, I can understand that, man. I can understand that. Why do I like it so much? Why do I like it if Sydney is revealed to be a killer, man? I don't know why. It kind of reminds me of Julia Stiles and an Orphan First Kill. Like, I don't know, man. Listen. I made that video about the question we never bothered to ask about Sydney Prescott, about why if she was at home when her mother was being killed, why didn't she help save her mother? All I'm going to say is this. You can make a bunch of theories and make a story out of that, in my opinion. And if you wanted to, you could turn Sydney Prescott into a killer. Now, will that outrage the diehard fans, especially of Sydney Prescott and Scream? Sure. Sure it would. And rightfully so. I understand why that is a sin in the Scream franchise, is to reveal Sydney as a killer. I understand why that's a sin. However, listen, I don't know. I think it's interesting. We got to start doing something different, man. Like, we can't just keep having the good people be the good people all the time. Listen, I'm a wrestling fan, right? So I'm used to this shit all the time. I'm used to these 1 minute these guys are good, 1 minute these guys turn bad. And I like that because I think it makes it more interesting for storyline purposes if you do it right. I wouldn't mind it. I'm just going to leave it at that. I would not mind seeing Sydney Prescott as a... Could you imagine Sydney fucking Prescott as a killer? She already is. She has bodies on her record. Just in self-defense. But she has bodies on her record. Let's not act like she ain't killed nobody. Let's not act like like she don't got some evil in her. You listen, whether it's self-defense or not, you have to have some evil in you. If you defend yourself to the point you kill a motherfucker. That's the truth. You have to have a little bit of evil in you. Let me ask you something, Ghostface. She didn't have a little bit of evil in her in Scream 1996 when she put on the Ghostface costume and used the voice changer? She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do any of that. She chose to do it. Why? Because, like Billy said, we all go a little mad sometimes. I'm telling you. Listen, man, I wouldn't be against it. Let's do it. You got me fired up now, man. You shouldn't have said nothing about that because I've been thinking about it. I'll be completely honest. I've been thinking about it. Like, not what if she is a killer, but how cool it would be if it's written correctly and if it's done correctly and it ties correctly in to the original film and the legacy of Scream. How cool would it be for us to get different and turn the final girl, the ultimate final girl, arguably one of two greatest final girls of all time, and you turn her into a killer? It's not impossible to think. We got to start thinking, how much more is Sydney going to keep playing the victim, right? She's been a victim all her life. At some point, and this is just human nature, at some point, we get tired of being a victim. We get tired of being the hunted, and we become the hunter. It's human nature. No matter what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's interesting. I do. I like it. I don't know. Guys, don't judge me for it. I know I'm going to get some flack for that. Like, oh my God, you want to see Sidney Prescott as a killer? Why would you do that? How dare you? All I ask of you, all I plead of you is to just think it from a creative standpoint. That's all I ask. From getting different. We always talk about getting different with the franchises, with these iconic franchises. We knock these creators because, oh, they just recycle the same stuff. They don't ever like to do anything different. Well, damn it, let's give them a chance to get different. If they can make it happen, let's let them make it happen. I'm all for it, man. As long as it's written correctly, it's executed correctly, and it makes sense, and it's going to have me like, why not? Let's do it. I'm all for it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. Some people are going to hate me for that shit. I know it. The hell with it. Let's stir up the pot. Let's stir it up. Let's go. All right, I'm going to zoom down here to the chat because I know I'm a little bit behind and I do want to catch up. Hey, what's going on, MMA Russ? I hope you're having a great day. Jiu-jitsu and mofos all day. I would like Sydney in a role similar to Ford. That was the perfect mix, in my opinion. Yeah, I can see why you would say that because it's not like the story was entirely focused on Sydney, but you got a good bit of Sydney in that movie. I can agree with that. I like that. But I'm not going to lie. I feel like if you do bring her back, there has to be a reason she's back. It can't just be, I'm coming back to help these people out, to help Samantha out, Tara, all them, the core four. It can't just be that. If you're bringing Sidney Prescott back to Scream 7, you have to have some of the story, or at least the plot, or the reveal, whatever it is, it has to be about her. It has to be something about her. Maybe something in the past we don't know about Sydney. Call Samantha's real mother. Something. Like, You have to bring Nev Campbell back the right way. You cannot bring her back and just be like, hey, Samantha, I'm going to help you again. I'm going to put a tracker on your car to make sure you're safe because I don't suspect you to be a killer like they did in Scream 5. You can't have that. No. We got to have Sydney be an essential part of why the killers are back and an essential part that ties into the legacy as a whole. But I agree with you, Russ. I do. I think that having her in that type of, it's not all about Sydney, but some of it is about Sydney type of role, perfect. I agree. Because people forget that about Scream 4. That's how they did it. You know, yes, we were focused on Jill, Charlie, Kirby, all of these new characters. We were focused on them. But when it came down to it, especially with the reveal with Jill, it essentially went back to being about Sydney. So I agree with that, Russ. I like that. As long as we get something that is a juicy story for her, man. Okay, so I am so behind. I definitely got to catch up. Okay, so I do want to read this, though. Ghostface. Oh, man. Ugh. Hey, I get it. I understand. I do. Ghostface Fanatic saying, Jen, it's just a theory that people have. I don't like it at all. It's the dumbest theory I've heard. Listen, I don't think it is, man. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't. Like I said a little bit ago, I think if you look at it from the perspective of that question I asked y'all in that video about why Sydney didn't help Maureen, I think, and I always say this because I have people show up in my videos and my chats and they're like, you know, not like in a malicious way, but they're like, oh, that's not what Wes Craven intended and this and this and that. Guys, we have to stop thinking about these films in the way Wes Craven intended it. Why? Because Wes Craven's not making them anymore. Radio Silence made the last two, and we assume they're going to be there for the seventh one. These are different creators. So everything that we've seen in the original four from Wes Craven, I'm not saying they don't matter. But what I'm saying is this, is Radio Silence as creators could have went back in those films, saw some certain things that they theorized about, and then decided to put them in their movies. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's the dumbest idea ever, man. I don't. Like I said, man, we want these creative teams to get different, right? Listen, let's just talk about it from a shock factor. From a shock factor. If they turn Sidney Prescott into a killer, right? But if they writ it the right way, like I said, to where it ties in to all of the other movies, especially the first one, you mean to tell me if they did it the right way, if they wrote it the right way, if they executed it the right way, you wouldn't be, if you may not be happy about it, but you wouldn't be shocked. We have not had something shocking in the Scream franchise for quite some time now. You can even argue Jill's reveal, because nobody saw that coming. So Scream 4. And even before that, Roman's reveal didn't drop jaws. Mrs. Loomis and Mickey's reveal didn't really drop jaws. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, we need something that's going to shock the hell out of us. We do. And if you don't bring Stu Macher back, what better ending would it be? What else would shock us in that fashion? Right? We would all be shocked if Stu Macher returns. Even if we theorize about it, we would be shocked if they pulled that trigger. outside of that, what else do you got? What else really would be shocking that would have us talking for years and years and years to come, like we do about Scream 1996 with Billy and Stu, like we do about Scream 4 with Joe Roberts? To me, turning your biggest star and one of the most ultimate final girls of all time and writing a story that links into everything and revealing her as a killer, it would shock the hell out of me. That would be something I think we'd be talking about for years and years to come. That's why I'm not against it. Now, will it happen? Most likely not. So you ain't got nothing to worry about, my friend. But I'm saying, if it ever did happen, I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. I'm not. I like it. I have a weird mind. I'm sorry. That's right. That's right, buddy. That's right. Charlie is still alive and comes back in Scream 7. That's right. Let's go. That's right, buddy. Right there alongside Stu. Jen Warner saying Mark was useless in 3. Ooh, I think that's the first time I've ever heard that. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was a killer. I like Mark Kincaid, though. Right? That's right, Kyle. Saying, what's your favorite scary movie? My Life. That to me, that piece of dialogue between him and Sydney was one of the best pieces of dialogue in the entire franchise to me. That's just my opinion. Okay, so yeah, I see. I'm so behind. Yeah, I'm about 13 minutes behind. Okay, so let me speed up. But real quick, Gelato, what's going on? If you're still here in the chat, what's going on? Okay, everyone. So I will just say this real quick, if it wasn't already done, because I'm a little bit behind in the chat, but I just did it. I see a lot of you guys were like saying something about Trish spam in the chat, so I put her in timeout, and I'm just going to have to. It looks like we're just going to have to keep things as is with her and Scott, because I just said about, spamming and about stuff like that. And if it's happening now, you know what I mean? I can't keep having that. Just can't happen. Can't have it. I can't have you guys, upset because somebody keeps spamming in the chat or stuff like that, asking the same questions. I just can't. And I see a lot of you, showing your displeasure. So the last thing I want to do is turn viewers away, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So that's been taken care of. And if I have to take greater action, then I'll take care of that here in a little bit after the stream. Okay, so let me get caught up here because I got distracted for a second. Yeah, I mean, apparently, that's what it looks like. I don't know. So one way or another, it's taken care of. If it wasn't taken care of before I got to it, I just got to it. It's taken care of. Okay, Gelato's saying Courtney wants to read the script first. Huh. So, Gelato, I will ask you, do you have some inside information? Because if you do, let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. Maybe, we can link up and you can be a credited source for me or something like that. I could use one of those. I really could. I need to get inside information. Nothing too spoily, but just something. I know. I wish they would. I know they're making a Scream board game. I wish they would make a Scream video game too, though. Jamie, I'm waiting to see this. Jamie Hart says, I would be so sad if they made Sydney a ghost face. It just feels wrong. I get it. I get it. And I'll be honest with you, Jamie. I always thought that same way. But not anymore. For some reason, it just feels right. It just does. I don't know why. I will say this. Like, the Scream franchise, now that I'm like a content creator and I delve deep into this stuff or whatever, more so than I ever have before, I don't know. I like certain things that I think I would not have normally liked before. Like certain ideas. You know, I will say that. Scream is a very fascinating franchise. Very fascinating. I get it. Yeah. Ghostface Fanatic saying, I just feel like she's the final girl to me. It wouldn't make sense. I could see Sam be a killer over her. That's just me, though. To make Sydney the killer out of nowhere, that would be ridiculous. I can understand why you would say it would be ridiculous. I do. But I always say this. If executed and written correctly, I think it could work. And I appreciate that real quick. I want to say I appreciate that, Denisha, saying as a mod looking out for the safety of the chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. I tried to give a chance. You guys heard me spend a good few minutes at the beginning of the stream talking about it, which was impromptu because I didn't have any plans to do that. But I wanted to let it be known, and stuff like that. And I was pondering it because, again, I am a person who likes to give people second chances, but it seems like that, in this situation, that's not going to be happening. Ooh. Hey, what's going on, Ghostface? I see Ghostface is in the chat. Sam, Kirby, Stu as Scream 7 killers. I like that lineup. But you are forgetting one key component, my friend. Charles Walker. Got to have Charlie in there, man. There's been too many Easter eggs, in my opinion, that you can make a case that Charlie could come back to. I know it's not the sexiest pick for many, but I feel like alongside Stu, especially with that stab subreddit, especially with the fact that in Scream 3, the Woodsboro Cinema Club was supposed to be helping Stu anyway. In Scream 4, we got introduced to the Woodsboro Cinema Club. Who was a part of that? Charlie Walker, Kirby Reed. So, and I've always said it, I feel like Stu is too old school to run a stab subreddit himself, to really know how to operate social media like that. I think he would have to have a partner who knows everything there is to know about that. Charlie Walker. Yeah, now we're talking. Yes, she could. Yes. Michael Joe saying, could Sam be the daughter of Sydney? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. 1,000 percentiles, that's a possibility. When you look at when Samantha was born, on her date of birth on her ID card, a lot of people assume that she had been conceived right before the Woodsboro killing spree, before the murders happened, maybe in late August. And I'm not saying that's not right. Mathematically, it does line up. But what also mathematically lines up is when Sydney and Billy did the do themselves too. We all know this. You can have babies at 6-7 months premature. And then obviously if the doctors can do their thing, the baby ends up being okay. So Sydney and Billy did it at the end of September. So October, November, December, and then May. So that's 8 months in like 2 weeks. It's possible. It's definitely possible. And I've been on record saying, and I stick by it, that in Scream 5, there was something there to me that showed you could go in that direction. I would never understand why Sidney Prescott, being the ultimate final girl that she is, knowing you should not trust anybody in these situations, decided to put a tracker on Samantha Carpenter's car and basically essentially followed her to make sure she was safe. That's some motherly shit right there. You don't do that with somebody you don't know like that. You don't. That was some motherly shit right there. And the way how she knows that Samantha is Billy's daughter without us getting any clarification from Dewey. Dewey didn't tell her that it was Billy's daughter that was being attacked by Ghostface. He didn't utter those words at all. Yeah, absolutely. 1,000% agree there's a possibility for that. All right, so I'm going to answer some more of these Scream comments here, and I'm going to get caught up, and then we're going to move on to talking about Disney and the rise of them making horror movies. Gelato saying Stu is alive and has been living and hiding all these years. He is orchestrating a Ghostface gang. Yeah, like a cult of Ghostface. I believe that. I believe that for sure. There's too many Easter eggs of him in 5 and 6 to not pull that trigger. If they don't pull that trigger, it's going to be bullshit. Like, why do all this? Why? You know, does it matter if it's subtle? Does it matter if it's jaw-dropping or very visible to see? Why plant all these Easter eggs all to not give us that payoff? You're setting the stage for something. You had to be setting the stage for his return. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I know that for a while there, a lot of people did think that Randy's death was faked or whatever and stuff. Like, I don't think so, though. I really don't. Kyle Brandon saying, I was on that boat for a while, but Randy's throat is slit. Yeah. Yeah, and if Mrs. Loomis killed him like she said she did, which I believe her, she ain't letting him live. Not after what he said about Billy. And Billy Loomis, what the fuck? Jesus, what a rat-looking, over-repressed mama's boy. Yeah, that will get you killed. Oh, yeah, you know how this goes sometimes, Jen. You know that every once in a while, my passion overexceeds and I just, rah, go hard. I believe in certain things. I don't believe anything is impossible. That's just how I feel about these horror movies and stuff like that, especially with using imagination. Nothing is impossible. If it can be done the right way, it can be done. Like, I know it may not be something a lot of people want to see, Sidney Prescott being a killer. And I understand that. Trust me. I'm just saying that it's not impossible. That's all. That's all I'm saying. We'll see. And now I'm a little bit caught up here in the chat. This is going to be, I see a couple of these comments are very interesting. So Kyle Brandon says, if Stu returns, I hope Mark gets involved and finds out information about him being out there. Man, I'll be completely honest. I don't want anything. I don't want, it's not that I don't want anything. I want it to keep being subtle. I don't want it to be totally revealing. I want the Stu Easter eggs in 7 to keep being as subtle as they've been in 5 and 6. And then we get that epic reveal that he is back. I don't want Mark, like, digging up information floating out the possibility that he could actually be alive. I think that would hurt the reveal, because then we would all be expecting Stu is back. That's just my opinion. Whatever happens in Scream 7, I just hope Chad lives in the end. I mean, listen, man. I think he's definitely not going to die. If they kill him in Scream 7, you should have just had him die in Scream 6. With that type of kill, with both ghost faces stabbing him like that, was beautiful. That was a beautiful imagery. And they brought him back. They let him survive that. So, in my opinion, if you're going to let him survive all that, you can't kill him. It makes no sense. For all that, you should have just let him die in 6. And I like Chad, so I do want to see him live. Ghostface Fanatic saying she's got kids now. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. She would already have killed them and Mark if she was evil. Not necessarily. Look how long it took for Roman to be revealed as a killer. 4 years in the making. That doesn't necessarily mean, she has to just go right in there and kill. She could be plotting and executing, planning. If we believe Stu Macher can be a planner, why can't Sidney Prescott be a planner? It's all about the buildup. It's all about the buildup. Dr. Gordon in Saw, perfect example. He didn't get revealed as helping Jigsaw until the 7th film. 7 movies. 6 movies after the first one. Yeah, thank you, Denisha. I did end up doing it from here to the timeout thing, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing that. That's possible. That's very possible, Adrian. I think Danny is working with Stu, and Stu is on the subway in 6. He was the one who turned when Danny stood in front of Sam. I don't think so. And the reason why I'm going to say that wasn't Stu is because if you're going to have it be Stu, you have to have Stu be tall. The person underneath the Ghostface costume has to be tall. That Ghostface was shorter than Danny, in my opinion. Maybe I'll have to go back and rewatch it and pay close attention to the height, but I don't think that Ghostface was tall. And not only that, I think Stu would have his mask. I don't think Quinn had Stu's real mask. I really don't. I think Stu's mask should be way more decrepit, just like Billy Loomis's mask. So I don't know, man. I just don't think that it was Stu in that moment. Who I think it was Kirby. That's just me. She wasn't with them on the subway. We don't know how long she was actually waiting outside the theater. She got off before they got off, which gives her perfect and ample time to get over to the theater, uncostume, get out of costume. Just saying. We'll see, though. Okay, Jen. Scream 3 is my favorite sequel. I just did not care for Mark. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Shit, we don't got to like every character. Yes, absolutely, Denisha. Thank you again for that. Thank you to both you and Val. Thank you both. I appreciate it. Okay, so Ghostface Fanatic saying Sam could be a killer, and I would be okay with that. Okay, yeah. I definitely would be okay with that. You see how she kills people, man. Oh my goodness. Bro. See, I agree, Michael. I agree. Like, Sydney as the Ghostface killer would be insane. Like, yes. I agree, man. I agree. I don't know. There's something about it. There's just something about it. Gelato was saying, I think Sydney is going to discover something else dark and disturbing about her mother, something that ties into Roman Bridger, Billy Loomis, Stu Macher, and Christina Carpenter. Very possible. Very, very possible. Oh, Jamie. Kind of hurt me here. Let me stop. Jamie Hart saying, I want Sam to be the ultimate hero. I want her to overcome her fear of being just like her dad, the way Sid overcame her fear of being just like her mother. I love Sam's character so much. Hey, I mean, I get it. I understand. You know what I mean? I get that, you know. But at the same time, and this is just me, and maybe I'm just a messed up person, man. I don't know. You know what I mean? But at some point, we can't always have happy endings all the time. Like we just can't, or we can't always have like final girls. Like, let's do something different. You know, like I don't know. That's just where I'm at with it. Like, I think I'd rather see Samantha embrace the father in her. I'd rather see her continue to embrace that. Because no matter what, that's at the end of the day, that's what she is. She has that in her. She's already proven that by killing Richie and Detective Bailey. Like, I want to see it expanded. I want to see more. Like, I don't know. I just think it's too cliche to have the girl who, and I get it, you know, some people say, oh, well, they've been doing that a lot lately, you know, and stuff with turning, you know, the mental health victim and stuff into, or making them crazy. I've always been on record saying I don't think she's as traumatized as she likes to lead on. I don't. I really don't. Some of her decision making makes me believe that. I think it's an act. Just like the corn syrup blood on Billy's shirt was to fake out Sydney, I think the traumatization, the mental health, the pills, everything, I think it's all a fucking ruse. I really do. I will stand by that. I will die on that hill until I'm proven otherwise. Like, I think she's faking it. I really do. You know, like, I don't think any of that is real. That's why I can't buy it, you know, from that standpoint, you know, of her being somebody who struggles with mental health, and that if you turn her into a killer, you're just making it seem like anybody with mental health is crazy. I don't see it from that aspect because I'm not buying it that she's really that sick, or like she's really that mentally fucked up. I'm not buying it. Some people can criticize me for that. And hey, take your shot. You know what I mean? But me, that's where I'm staying. I will die on that hill. I don't believe Samantha Carpenter's sickness or her mental health. I just think it's all an act. I really do. There's been too many times I've seen the character contradict, you know, herself, especially in terms of trusting people. You know, she contradicts herself. And there's a reason why her character is written that way. So, but hey, I don't blame you, Jamie. You know what I mean? I mean, the ultimate hero with just a really killer twist to her, that she knows how to kill people really good, because she has, you know, the Loomis trait in her. Okay, I wouldn't be against it. I just feel like it's just getting too cliche, man. Let's do something different. You know, I think the reason why I like it so much for Sam to become a killer or to be revealed as a mastermind is because so many people wouldn't expect it, because they think it would be too obvious. People think, oh, well, that's too obvious that she a killer, so they're not going to do that. And that's why I think it's perfect. But hey, we'll see. That's right. That's right, Michael Joe. Yep, I agree. Top 5 Ghostface killer for me. The boy was ruthless. Kirby uses Charlie being alive as a way to push off her being a killer. I've thought about that too. Maybe some of those Easter eggs that I've pointed out, maybe Kirby's planting them there. I don't know. But I just feel like, just like with Stu, that's like planting Easter eggs for Stu Macher, but then they're going to have Leslie Macher revealed. You know, like it just wouldn't sit well. It wouldn't make sense to me. You have to have the actual person who you're planting said Easter egg of return, in my opinion. And I've found a good bit of Charlie Walker Easter eggs, and I would love to see him and Stu teaming up. All right, so I am going to like super zoom through these chats because I'm like 16 minutes behind, and I want to catch up. And then we are going to move on and talk about Disney and their rise in making horror movies, which is something that I never thought I'd see coming, but it's happening, guys. And it's horror related content, so I'm going to talk about it. Hey, and I get that. I get that, Jamie. I just personally, for me, I just feel like it's an act. I do. I don't feel like her having I don't feel like them portraying her to have mental health is genuine. If that makes sense. I don't think the way they have written her mental health to be believable and genuine. That's just me, though. But I get it, Jamie. Saying as a person who suffers with mental health and is medicated, LOL, I relate to Sam. Sometimes the worst things that happen to you end up becoming your source of strength and self-preservation. Yeah, no, I understand that. I do. I just don't, like I said, I just don't feel like they did it. All right, I'll put it this way. They have not done a good job for me writing her as a good character that does like their writing of her mental health doesn't seem genuine to me. They could do a better job tightening that up, making it seem more real to me, for me. That's why I say what I say about that I don't believe it's that real. I don't believe it's genuine because that's the way they wrote it. Hey, what's going on, Bob? Are you not on your Hunting for Entertainment account, or did you just rechange the name? Let me know, buddy. But Bob's saying, why not have Sid and Sam work together? Sid as the mother and mastermind, Sam twisted killer, maybe wrestling. Maybe my wrestling mind is kicking in, but I'd take that. But as trauma from my past, I'd also say no. Man, that would be nuts. That would be nuts. Sam and Sid working together as mastermind, and if Sid is revealed as her mother, I don't not like it. I will say I think that they would have to write the hell out of that. They would have to bring their A double plus game writing that. And given what we've seen in Scream 5 and 6, I don't know if we'll even get a B plus. So you know what I mean? But I like the idea, man. I do. I really do. And I hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you for stopping in. I relate to Sam as I have issues. My Chunky Jordy saying I relate to Sam as I have issues, but I'm not on medication as it doesn't work or agree with me. Hey, sometimes I heard that medication doesn't always, work. You know what I mean? And stuff. Sometimes, you just got to basically, get through the bullshit cold turkey like yourself. You know what I mean? And stuff like, and sometimes that could actually help, but sometimes medication does help. I like that shit bothers me. I don't even want to talk about it. And that's why I don't feel like Samantha's is genuine, because it doesn't make me feel how I should. as it does when I hear somebody like you, Gina, or you, Jamie, telling me about your mental health struggles, if that makes sense. Oh, Bob's saying no. I had to create an alternate. I'm at work and can't log in as I don't have phone. Okay, buddy, got you. Yeah, I know how that goes. Yeah, the security settings, make sure it's you and all that stuff. You got to verify. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for stopping in, my friend, and I hope you're having a great day at work, man. Adrian saying I gotta go. Gotta go. See you on the next stream. Hey, thank you so much for stopping in, Adrian. I greatly appreciate you. You enjoy the rest of your day. All right, everyone. So let's move off the stream conversation. I am going to go like another 30 minutes, so we'll split it up here. 15 minutes talking about Disney, 15 minutes talking about the actors strike. That's possibly going to happen. So yeah, and that's how I'm going to break it down, and then I'm going to head off the stream for the day, and hopefully have some more content later. I do want to get an Insidious review done at some point. So yeah, we'll see what the rest of the day what it holds and how it shakes out. All right, so let's talk about Disney. Disney now becoming an entity in the horror genre. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is I talked about it on my last episode of the podcast about Belle, the Beauty and the Beast live action Disney horror movie that they're coming out with. And then today, as I'm scrolling through the tombs and, looking for, articles and stuff like that, I see an article about The Curse of Cinderella, another Disney created horror movie that is due to come out very soon. And once I saw this, I said, you know what? This would be a really interesting conversation to have for about 10, 15 minutes here on the podcast or whatever. Because I know a lot of fans don't like Disney doing horror movies. I know a lot of fans, don't want to see their beloved, iconic kids characters be turned into horror movie villains or be set in a horror movie setting. But to the defense of what Disney is trying to do, I feel like this. I understand why you don't want to see Winnie the Pooh be a notorious killer. If you watch that movie, terrible. I understand why you would not want to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs be turned into a horror movie. I understand why you would not want to see Cinderella and her little slippers be turned into a horror movie or be set in a horror movie setting. But what do we always say about creators, right? What do we always say about Hollywood? All they want to do is recycle the same old stuff. Halloween, Scream, Saw, so on, so forth, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever. We always say, oh, there's no creative ideas. They don't know how to create things new anymore, right? We always say that. But then yet, here we have, for better or for worse, we have Disney, in so many ways, trying to create something different. Now, are these characters we've seen before? Yes, we've seen them in the Disney Kids platform. But we've never seen them in any other platform. Really, drama? Well, I guess you could say drama is a part of it, especially of a love story and stuff like that. But you've never seen these characters outside of their realm, right? Never seen them outside of their realm. So now we have Disney and these horror creators trying to do a little something different by taking our kids' characters and making them horror villains or making them into a horror movie, whatever. And we hate it. And I guess where I'm trying to go with this conversation is this. We can assume and expect that these Disney-related movies aren't going to be any good, right? And rightfully so, because it just doesn't feel right, right? It doesn't feel right watching Winnie the Pooh kill somebody with an axe that you would never even have thought of that you would make a horror movie out of, right? So, is Disney making horror movies really that bad? To the point where they should not ever do it and just stay in their lane? No, it's not that bad. And I'm going to tell you why. We have gotten over the years, whether it's mainstream or low quality budget movies, we have gotten great horror movies. We have gotten bad horror movies. There has been some movies that even are on DVD that doesn't belong on a disc. At least with Disney, it's a big company. It's a big studio. They're well known. They can get some of the best creators. They can get some of the best writers if they so choose to, depending on the price, right? What I'm saying is, guys, is that life is about evolution. Life is about evolution. No matter what you're doing. If you have a business, at some point, you have to evolve. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in the mud. Either you're going to be stuck making the same money you've been making, or you're going to regress. By Disney coming along and making these horror movies based on their Disney characters, not only are they creating a new universe for those said characters, they're also creating more content for us horror movie lovers. And I don't think that's a problem. I don't. Why? Because it's horror movies. We love them. They're keeping the genre alive. I'm never going to knock anybody, whether I like the movies or not. I am never going to knock anybody for showing support to the horror genre. I would have never thought in a million years Disney would up and say, okay, we're going to make horror movies. We're going to turn Cinderella into a possessed creature of sorts or whatever. Never, ever would have thought that. And I understand why you might not like that. I do. But in terms of creating something new for the horror genre, why not? It's not a bad idea. At least they're trying. At least Disney is not trying to do a Halloween movie. Could you imagine the backlash of that? Disney is announcing, and then you hear the theme. Disney's Halloween 2025. Like, you know what I mean? At least they're not trying to do that. They're trying to do their own thing. What do we always say about these creators? They don't ever do their own thing. They just want to take our iconic horror franchises and put their spin on it and just get the money because it's already a household name. Now, you can make the same argument for Disney. Oh, they're just trying to funnel money and recreate something off their household names. I'm not saying they're not doing that. But what I am saying and what I'm asking is, are they not creating something new for the horror genre? Are they not creating new characters within the horror genre? If MCU, if the superheroes can have their own multiverse, fucking Spider-Man has how many multiverses? The Spideyverse, the this verse, the that verse. If they can have it, why can not only horror have it, but why can't Disney's characters have it? Why do they have to stay stuck in the same product that we have grown to know and love? I get it because we know and love it. But let's really be honest here, guys. Disney's kid movies aren't like they used to be. They're just not. They're really not. And with every company, we know this. You have to expand. So why not allow them to expand into our genre, into horror? Now, would I like to see them execute who they're getting to do these movies a lot better? Yes. Because I don't even remember the guy's name who directed Winnie the Pooh. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say that. But that's just how bad that movie was to me that I didn't even want to remember anything about it. Could they benefit from getting far more superior creators to do these movies? Sure. But is it really any different than you turning on that B movie? That movie that went straight to DVD? Is it any different than watching something cheesy and campy like Bloody Murder, which is a direct knockoff to Friday the 13th and a Jason Voorhees character? It's not that different to me. No, I didn't. And listen, I'm not going to sit there and say I'm going to be an advocate for Disney horror movies. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is this. Is if they are creating content for the horror genre, it's a win for us as the viewer and as the fan. Why? Because then that means horror is in demand. You got the biggest company in terms of content, children's content. You got arguably the biggest company trying to dip their toes into horror. That's how much horror is in demand. I'm never going to knock anybody for trying to expand on our universe, my favorite universe, the horrorverse. Never going to knock anybody for that. Never. So I get it. I understand why a lot of us don't like to see our Disney characters be turned into horror characters. I understand that aspect of it. But I also understand the aspect that, we're creating something different. We're creating different concepts with different characters that we've never imagined being in the horrorverse. I can accept that. I can accept that because, again, it makes horror better. It evolves the world of horror. So, I personally, I don't want to see them do every damn Disney movie into a horror movie, but there are some Disney movies that when I think back and look, I'm like, okay, you could have a concept for horror for that, like Beauty and the Beast. When I talked about it the other day, I said, I think arguably this might be, in terms of them making a Disney movie into a horror movie, this might actually have the best shot because of the Beast, because you have a creature already. You already have a creature, you know what I'm saying, with the Beast character. That's why I said what I said about Beauty and the Beast having a real shot at being a pretty good horror movie. And now we get, Cinderella. I don't have much hope for it. I don't see the story there in terms of making it into a horror movie. But again, it's horror content and it's keeping our genre alive. So listen, we don't have to like these movies. We don't have to like the fact that Disney is doing this to our kids' characters, our beloved kids' characters. We don't have to like it. But what I will say is, I'd like to think we all agree, is we have to like the fact that it is at least giving the horror genre some much-deserved clout. So I'm going to hit you guys' comments real quick and see what you guys got to say about this quick Disney conversation. About Disney and horror movies, and this direction that they are going in with making these horror movies, because I mean, they're going full force, guys. No doubt about it. They're not playing any games. They had Winnie the Pooh come out. There's going to be a second one. The Beauty and the Beast, Belle, and then you got Cinderella. And somebody also said this in the chat the other day, and I agree with them. Another Disney movie that you can turn into a horror concept is Snow White. That is another one. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Well, that's who she's supposed to be, though, Ghostface. I honestly think Christina Carpenter could be the mother of Sam. Yeah, she is. I think you're just trying to joke around. But yeah, I don't think she's Samantha's mother, but that's me. We'll talk about that another time. Okay, buddy. All right, Bob, I'll see you in a few. I say we're going to go for another 15 minutes here, and I'm going to wrap this episode of the podcast up. And then we're going to talk about this, actor strike that could be happening, and just share some thoughts about it, Disney ruined Marvel and Star Wars. Okay, Michael. Michael's saying Disney needs to stay away from this horror shit. Listen, man, like I just said, it keeps the horror genre alive, especially in a time where all we're getting is requels and reboots of already iconic horror franchises. We're not really getting fresh stuff. We're really not. So, in terms of trying to give us a fresh concept on a character that we've seen in the Disneyverse being crossed over to horror, I'm not against it, man. Like, I'll give it a chance. I'll give every one of them a chance, but I'll also critique it, in the way that I do. Just like I critiqued Winnie the Pooh. That's a god-awful movie. But that doesn't mean every single one of them are going to be a god-awful movie. Denise is saying I don't watch much of Disney. Hey, I don't blame you. I hardly watch it anymore neither. Like, only time that happens is when my nieces and nephews are over. And they hardly watch Disney. So, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is why I'm glad I had this conversation. See, this right there, that proves, though, like, certain characters, even though it's not Disney, there is a home for certain characters that we grew up loving as kids in horror. Wolverine would be a great horror movie, in my opinion. Done right, created by the right creator. I like it. I like it a lot. It may not be Disney, but that's what I mean. Like, there is, in Disney's characters, certain characters that you can bring in the horror genre and make a movie out of it, and it makes sense because of certain backgrounds. Like I said, the Beauty and the Beast, the creature, Snow White, because of the whole cursed and biting the apple shit, all that. Like, there's definitely a home for some Disney characters to make a run in the horror game. Winnie the Pooh wasn't one of them. Wasn't one of them at all. Jamie, why did I read this out in my mind in Kathy Bates' voice? Disney's the devil! That's nonsense. I created electricity. Benjamin Franklin is the devil! That's that shit. I love the Water Boy. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. Mama's right. Let's go. Oh man. All right. So I'm caught up with all you guys' comments and stuff, it seems. All right. So now let's talk about this whole actors strike that is looming. Guys, I really hope that they get this deal done. I really do. I know they're in mediation. Last night they went into mediation, so there's like an extension out there for them to get it done. Still no deal is done. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because if there's no deal done here, I guess whenever the next deadline is, all movies shut down. All of them. In production, pre-production, all of them shut down until they get this situation with the actors situated. Guys, I don't understand why it's so hard to pay people their due diligence, to pay people what they're worth, to pay people for the work that they put in. I'll put it in that way because this is the thing for me. And this goes with any job, in my opinion, no matter what you're doing. It's not about the job title. I know that's how we go about things here, in our society and our country and all that stuff. The more money you make, it's because of what your job title is. That's what I've always been told, right? That, to me, couldn't be further from the fucking truth. And the reason why is because I've seen it. I've lived it. Just because you have a job title does not mean that you are good or effective to somebody else at that said job. Job titles are nothing, in my opinion. I could be the manager of a Wendy's, flipping burgers all day long. Doesn't mean I'm a great cook. Doesn't mean I'm a great manager. I might not know how to manage anybody. I might not do a great job at it. But because my job title says manager, I make more money than the other employees. Job titles, and some might disagree with this, and you can. To me, job titles don't mean shit. It's all about the work ethic. It's all about the work you're willing to put in. I feel like if you are a manager and I work harder than you, I don't give a damn if you're just supposed to manage. I've always looked at managers like, okay, yes, you are a manager, but that doesn't mean that you stop doing the things that got you to this point. And unfortunately, in our society, that's what happens when a lot of people get that manager tag. They feel like they don't have to do anything anymore. I've never looked at it that way. I looked at it as you put the same amount of work ethic into that manager spot as you did before you became a manager. And I feel like, this is just me, if me, as the employee, busts my ass and puts in more work than you do, I should get the peso for it. I should be getting paid more than you are. If I'm putting in more work than you. That's why I say job titles really don't mean nothing. So back to this, what does it have to do with the actors strike? Pay people what they're worth. Yes, they may not be the greatest actors. I mean, the greatest directors. They may not be the greatest writers or whatever. But if they're putting in the time and the dedication and they are doing better and they're putting in more work than some of these high-priced directors that you just got chilling on standby, waiting for a call or whatever, they deserve to get paid. It shouldn't just always be about getting paid for. I feel like this in our society and with everything. The people who get paid the most do the least. And I feel like, especially in terms of like with TV, movies, I feel like those type of directors don't get nearly enough what they should. You know how fucking difficult it is to run a show consistently? You're 2 seasons in 1 season in 1 year, right? Like, shit's no joke. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. These big studio executives, they get paid top dollar. They don't got to worry about going on strike, right? When have you ever heard the studio's going on strike? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the chat. I've never heard of a studio going on strike. It's always us, the workers. It's always us. Why? Because they always trying to fuck us with the money. It's bullshit. No matter what you do, whether you're a restaurant worker, whether you're a writer, whether you're a director, whether you're a contractor, it doesn't matter what you do. When have you ever seen the executives, not the employees, the executives go on strike? Never heard of it, never seen it. If I'm wrong, please put it in the chat. I've never seen it. Why? Because they don't got to stress nothing. Their pockets are good. But when it comes to paying people what they deserve, it's got to be a hassle? Why? They're the ones who are making the money for you. They're pushing content. Why is this so hard to believe that these people deserve to get their due diligence? Why is it so difficult when you're making billions upon billions and billions for billions of dollars? You can't pay these people? It's got to come down to mediation? That's pathetic to me. That should never happen. That should never happen. You should want to pay the people that make your studio, your business, whatever it is. You should want to pay them a healthy living so that it can live comfortable. You're already living comfortable. You ain't got to sweat nothing. I think it's sad. I really do. I really think it's sad. I do want to say real quick, because I see Jen's heading out. Jen, thank you so much for hanging out. It was so good to have you here today. If you're not doing nothing Saturday, definitely stop in the chat and watch The Conjuring with us. But yes, right, Jerron. Good to see you here in the chat as well. I seen you pop in here a little bit ago. Jerron Robertson saying, never heard of a studio going on strike. Thank you. Never heard of it. Why does the workers have to always go through this shit? It's sad. Pay them. Pay them. Because you know damn well without them, you ain't making no money. Pay them what they deserve. It's not right. It really isn't. I'm a big advocate for that type of shit, man. People deserving to get paid what they deserve to get paid. It shouldn't always be about the job title. It should be about the work ethic. Like, it makes no sense to me. If these people are making you a lot of money, why would you not want to keep these people? Why would you not want to add to that? I don't know. I don't get it. I always say if I had my own business, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, and I'm booming, like I'm making millions and billions of dollars, I couldn't imagine paying my employees $16 an hour. I couldn't. That's just me. I couldn't. You're making my business be successful by you showing up and putting in the time and putting in the effort every single day, or however many days I ask you to come work for me. You're making this happen for me. I want to pay you. I want to make sure you're taken care of so that you don't got to sweat. So you don't got to wake up the next morning and worry about if you're going to be able to afford this, afford that. So many people, and some people I know will be out there be like, oh, you're really taking up for these directors and these actors. these people who make millions of dollars and don't care nothing about you. Hold up. First off, if you met certain, celebrities like I've had at these conventions, they are very grateful for a lot of us. That's number one. Number two, the reason why I stick up for them is because just like us, they could go without work for an extended period of time. If your job closes tomorrow, you're going to have to go look for a new job, meaning there's going to be a few days you're not going to work. It's the same thing with them. They may do a big project. They may make a good amount of money off that said project. Might not have another project for another 3 years. It's not as easy as you think. Being a director, being an actor, it's not. It really isn't, especially being an actor, because they're the workers. I remember being at a convention, and Matthew Lillard said it himself. Sometimes, he said, I know a lot of you may think because we're movie stars, we got it all together, this and that, and that's not the case. There might be some times I go without work for 1.5 years, 2 years. So it's just ridiculous. Pay them. Pay them. Simple. They're making you your money. Without them pushing content, without content being created, there is no studio. There is none. And the reason why I also say that as well, someone would say, oh, well, you can't create content without a studio. That's not true. That is not true. I don't have a studio and I create content. I may have a StreamYard studio that I pay for, but I don't have a studio with multiple offices in a big-ass building. But I'm still creating content. There's ways around the big studios now. And that's becoming more and more apparent. So, to close off that conversation, guys, I do want to get to some of you guys' comments and see what you guys are saying about this topic before I do head out for the rest of the day. But, yeah, just pay them. This should not be a mediation. We should not be talking about this. Shouldn't be talking about this at all. Pay these people what they deserve. Pay these people for the work they put in. For the time they put in. Being away from their families. Going to this set. Doing this show. Doing that show. Doing this movie. Doing that movie. Pay them. Stop playing with the money. Jamie asking, who are the executives striking against? Are they trying to get out of paying the writers and actors? I may be behind on the news. From what I know is that the bargaining agreement or whatever for the Screen Actors Guild, they're now in mediation because there's been no new deal done. I'm assuming the actors are looking for a pay increase to where the studio wants to keep it plateaued at where it's been at from their previous deal. That's how I'm taking it. They don't want to pay more money. And they're taking their sweet-ass time getting a deal done. But now they're in mediation. So from what I heard, they're trying to speed up the process. We'll see. But it shouldn't get to this point. It really shouldn't. It should not get to this point. To me, that's bad business. It's bad business. Denise just said, Marcus, I didn't understand why they waited when Cobra Kai, Stranger Things, and season finale were about to get started. Hope they get it sorted out. I think it's because, again, and this is a cultural thing, this is a social thing. You get tired of feeling undervalued and underpaid. So I think these writers were like, you know what? Cobra Kai, I don't know if I can't speak for the Cobra Kai and Stranger Things writers, but I'm just speaking in context. If I'm writing in a show that is as big as Stranger Things or Cobra Kai, and I look at the numbers from what they're doing, and then I look at my paycheck and I look at my bank account, okay, I may be making some good money, but compared to what y'all are making, I need to be making a lot more. And I think that's what it boiled down to, especially with the writers. And now it looks like the actors are heading in that same direction. Right. I agree, Jamie. I agree. Oh no, I thought Jamie said it. I'm so sorry, Val. My apologies. I need glasses so badly. But Val saying, here's my take on this. They all need to sort this shit out. That's right. One is not more important than the other. Writers need studios and actors. Studios need writers and actors need writers and studios. See, I agree that they need to sort it out. But what I will say, though, Val, and you're starting to see this, you know what I mean? With even a lot of people doing fan films and stuff like that, like, they're starting to break away from the studios a little bit. You know, some might have like a Womp Stomp, like a privately owned studio, something like that, that's, more for fan service or whatever you want to call it. But some of these creators don't even use a studio. You know what I mean? So I think in terms of like the writers and the actors needing studios, I think that's why we starting to see so many like fan films and movies that aren't motion pictures being made, because they're tired of dealing with them. They're tired of dealing with the politics behind big studios. But for mainstream, yes, you're definitely on point with what you said. And you're right. The only one who's getting shit on is us, the consumers. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. So to close it off, let's hope that they get all of this stuff sorted out. Let's get these writers paid, get them back in the building writing, and let's get these actors paid and back in the building acting. And let's keep getting these projects created. Let's get some good content. Hopefully some great horror content will be coming out of all of this in the years to come. And hopefully the next time there is a bargaining agreement meeting needed, hopefully they don't have to go down to the last minute to get it done. I'm a firm believer, if things are going well, if the business is a well-oiled machine, why add even more grease to it? In terms of pay structure, yeah, you want to take care of your people, man. I'm a firm believer of that. You know what I mean? But what I mean is like, why basically piss people off over money, over greed? That's where I'm at with it. All right, guys, so I'm going to check out the last bit of you guys' comments, and then I'm actually going to head out for the day. I greatly appreciate you all stopping in for episode 12 of ISH6XS Horror Podcast. These was definitely some very interesting conversations that we had. I know we definitely went a little over an hour on the stream talk and all that, which was kind of expected because, it's Scream. But these last two conversations about Disney and about the writers' strike and the actors' strike and all that was definitely interesting. And I'm glad that I was able to get some of you guys' opinions on these topics, because these are important topics, especially in the world of horror, especially when it comes to the actors' strike and the writers' strike. So I definitely wanted to get you guys' take on that. And this was definitely a fun conversation. Okay, get to the rest of you guys' comments real quick. I will say this, Denisha, before I close it out. I've never gotten into Cobra Kai. I mean, I like the original Karate Kid, but it's not something that I personally, would turn back on like after the stream. It's not like that, didn't really hit for me like that. Good movie. But if you love it, that's awesome. I didn't think this is going to be the final season. Jerron Robertson said, when does this writer's strike end? This shit getting irritated. Come on now. They need to get this shit together. Yeah. I mean, the writers are saying when you pay us, we'll come back. So we'll see how it plays out. How it pays and how it plays out. But all right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for today. Again, I greatly appreciate every single one of you stopping in. This was definitely a blast. Stay tuned for episode 13 tomorrow. We're actually going to go a little bit later than usual. Usually I would, do these streams during the day. But tomorrow we're going to actually be going on at 10 p.m. Eastern time for Twin Peaks Thursday. We're doing a live watch party on the first episode of Twin Peaks. And this is going to be a thing every Thursday up until we finish the entire series. So, guys, definitely tune in tomorrow. The stream is already set. Head over there, hit the notify me bell, leave a comment. Let's get some likes on it so we can get some notoriety on it. I'm really excited for that, and I'm excited to see who's all going to show up for tomorrow night's episode of our Shot 'em 6 Times Horror Podcast covering Twin Peaks Episode 1, the pilot episode. This episode is an hour and a half long. I'm going to have Jamie Hart on panel, as well as Destin from Destination Station. It's going to be a ton of fun. I cannot wait to watch Twin Peaks Episode 1 with you all. But all right, everybody, I'm out of here. Every single one of you have a blessed day. Stay safe out. Stay safe. Stay safe. You stay safe like some dollar bills. Let's go. But no, everybody, seriously, have a great day. I love every single one of you beautiful people. I greatly appreciate you guys for all the love and support you show to this channel. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Salute to every single one of you. Peace out, guys.
You are now watching Shot 'em 6 Times YouTube horror movie channel.
I shot him 6 times.